Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Sky Factory. So we've been doing a lot of work here with the automatic ore processing. We've been doing a lot of work with thermal expansion, and this stuff is working just absolutely wonderful. Now in my automatic sieve here, I have made a full stack of fortune upgrades and a full stack of speed upgrades. Now this thing is consuming 1180 RF a tick. That is an absolutely insane amount of power. I have put 3 of the solar panel 5s back here to supply power for this thing. At night, we still kind of run out of power a little bit, but that can be very much alleviated just by sleeping. But this has all been working very good. We have all of our broken ores automatically placed into here, and that is automatically processed into the gravel. The gravel is then run through the processor or the pulverizer and processed into pulverized ore, and then it's run through these redstone furnaces and smelted. So everything seems to be working really good there. Now, one thing that I did find out, we can put things like gold and silver through this induction smelter to make our electrum. We can put iron and ferrous in there to get our Invar, and actually I'm going to put a couple of stacks of that in here real quick because we always seem to be needing that stuff. But I kind of feel like I want to shift gears today. So we've been doing all of this stuff here, and I kind of want to get into something a little bit different today. So we are going to be looking at Botania. So Botania is listed as a tech mod, even though it does use mana. But before we can even get started on that, we're going to need to get a place to set it up. So what I'm going to do, I am going to extend out this platform, or this walkway, another stretch, and we're going to build another set of platforms out there. We're going to set one of them up for Botania, and yeah, I'm going to get that built, and I will be back in a little bit, and we can start looking at Botania. So before we can really get into Botania, we have a little bit of an issue with dyes. So we need to be able to make the floral fertilizer. Well, that takes the red dye and the yellow dye. Well, we don't have much of that, so in its place we are going to make these dye seeds. So these dye seeds will give us this Technicolor essence. This stuff can be used to make literally any vanilla dye. So we will go ahead and get these made up, and I think I'm going to go ahead and make as many of them as I can, which is not very many apparently. And looks like we could have put some of the cocoa beans on some jungle logs and get those growing, but right now we've got 4 of these. That's going to be enough to get us going for a little while. But one thing that I keep forgetting to do is looking at the achievement book here. So we've done a couple of things here in the achievement book. Now I know I was talking about this, use energy conduits to power several machines at once. I think this actually is meaning the Ender IO energy conduits, but we have been using the thermal dynamics flux ducts, so we're going to say that's good. We power quite a few machines with our flux ducts. Also, we have the automate storage of ore dust from an automatic sieve. Well, we have definitely done that, and we have processed sieve materials to ingots. We have done that as well. So we've got a few more things marked off in our achievement book, but for now I am going to have to go back over here. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want to do that. But I'm going to have to head over here to the farms over here, get these Technicolor seeds put in, and let them grow for a little while. Once we get those all set up, I will be back, and yeah, hopefully Botania will be reasonably easy for us. So I have gone through almost an entire stack of this floral fertilizer. This is the last one to make 64 of them. Now what I have found is you generally will get 3 or 4 flowers in an open area of grass when you bone meal the ground. And occasionally you don't get 3. I suppose it's just because of the shape of this area, it didn't have a spot to put it. But we got a fair amount of flowers out of that. Now these white flowers are going to be the ones that are going to be most important for us right here at the beginning. But also, if we look at the recipe of the floral fertilizer, if we can find it here, there's a lot of stuff here. So the floral fertilizer, we were using this recipe, the yellow and the red. Well, we can also use the Botania floral powders. Well, these things come from taking a petal and smashing them with a pestle and mortar. Well, we get 2 petals from each flower. So if we get 3 flowers for each use of the floral fertilizer, that means we're actually getting a net gain out of that. So we don't have to really worry too much about the floral fertilizer anymore, and in the future we may even set up something to automatically craft the floral fertilizer, apply it to the ground, and then harvest the flowers. But we're going to head back over here real quick, and we're going to start working now on getting some things for Botania. So the first and most important thing that we need to do is to get our petal apothecary. So the petal apothecary takes cobblestone slabs, some cobblestone, and a petal. So I suppose we'll just take these orange ones, and we'll take 1 orange. We need, well, here, let's just see if we've got everything. No, we do not have the slabs, so we'll go ahead and grab those. And there we go. Okay, petal apothecary. Go ahead and clear that back out. And now this we're going to set over here. Now I did make this platform over here empty, and my thoughts on this, and actually I was going to close this off, was that we are going to use the living rock for this. So we'll just have to get a little bit further into Botania before we do that. And yep, this is something else. We have been getting animals spawning over here. So we're going to drop down our petal apothecary. I have a drum full of water here, and then we'll grab our bucket. And I think we need a few seeds as well. So that'll give us a chance to drop off this mutton and the wool that we just got. So we need seeds. We'll grab a stack of those. And what we need to do here, we need our white flowers. And we're going to make the pure daisy first. Now this is the first step in making the stuff for Botania. So we're going to take, we drop in, if we look here at the recipe, it's 4 petals, and then we drop a seed in the middle. So we'll drop in 4 petals, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we drop in our seed. There we go, pure daisy. So the pure daisy, what we do with this is we place it on the ground, and now we need some stone and some wood. And this pure daisy will change stone into living rock and wood into living wood. So I'm going to set a little bit of this around there. We'll probably craft up a couple more of these just because we're going to need a fair amount of this stuff. So we just place this in a ring around the daisy, and I think it's like 90 seconds it will convert this to the living rock. So let's go ahead and make another one of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll drop our seed. Whoops, there we go. And once more, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So a couple more of the pure daisies. Go ahead and place one there and one there. And we're going to take some of our logs, place these around here. And yeah, we'll just kind of wait until this happens. But it would be nice to have some of the higher tiered Tinker's tools for this. It would make it easier to clean up later. But in the meantime, we're going to take a look at what we need to do next. So the next thing that it's talking about is the runic altar here. And of course, you guys haven't seen this yet, but the runic altar is a rather important important complex in the advancement of Botania magics. First and foremost, though, this type of crafting requires a decent knowledge of mana manipulation. So the first thing that we need to do before we can do that runic altar is create some mana. So we need to go to generating flora. We have the day blooms. we have Nightshade. Now those are the two that we can do right away. The Endo Flames is what we're going to go to after the Day Blooms, because these can take flammable substances and turn them into mana. So the Day Blooms here is a passive generating flora, and as far as I know, they only work for 3 days. So yeah, we'll go ahead and grab our living rock here. And whoops, I did not want to break my pure daisy. And we'll just go ahead and place some more stone down here. We don't want to do that. And now we're short 1 stone. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and make up some of those Day Blooms and generate a little bit of mana. Now we'll need to make a mana pool for the mana to go into, and we will need a mana spreader to collect the mana and put it into the mana pool. And once again, I'm placing things in the wrong spot. So yeah, the mana pool. Now there's an old diluted mana pool. This thing, I don't know if we have to do it first this time. Yes, we do. Okay, so first we have to make the diluted mana pool, and we'll put some mana in that, and then we can put a diluted mana pool into there and make a regular mana pool. So I'm going to get some of that stuff set up, make some of the Day Blooms. The Day Blooms are just 4 yellow, or 2 yellow petals, an orange and a blue in the petal apothecary. So I'm going to get those set up, and I will be right back. So I think we're ready to set this stuff up, but since we do have Day Blooms, I guess we should sleep so that we can actually be producing some stuff. So we have gotten a few achievements by doing this stuff here in Botania. So we did get the Sky of Beginning. This is when we picked up a mystical flower. Realistic Logical Ideologist. This is opening the Lexicon Botania after you've picked up a flower. And then Daybreak Arrival, make a Day Bloom. So I think the way that we want to do this, we lay down a mana pool, we put the mana spreader on top of it, and I guess we forgot to make a staff. What is that thing called? Where is it even? I don't know. Right here. Wand of the Forest. We need to make one of those, but I believe if we place these Day Blooms down after the mana spreader, they link to the mana spreader. So, I don't know. We're going to place these down. Now, the way these used to work was that you needed to alternate them so that they weren't right against each other, but we're just going to place down that many of them right now, and we will quickly go and make one of these Wand of the Forest. So the Wand of the Forest, and I don't think we want to use white. Let's go ahead and make... Yeah, that'll work. Oh, we need the living twigs. Living wood twigs. So we need 3 of those. And then... get back up here to a color. Yep, there we go. Okay. So we have our living wood twig. Now this thing will give us the ability to interact with some of our stuff. Now you can see right now our mana spreader is shooting up in the air. So what we want to do is point it down. So we shift right click on it. Shift right click on this. Is that how that works? No. Okay, if we shift right click here, shift right click there, it's doing weird stuff. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so if we stand directly above this, interesting. Well, that's not the way that I remember that working, but we do have some mana now in our diluted mana pool. I don't know how much mana this is going to take. Apparently that's enough. So now we just cue this in there, and there we go. So, Vivid Wave. So we want to go ahead and break this diluted mana pool and put down our regular mana pool. So now this thing will give us the ability to continue on with what we're doing, and we'll probably take this diluted mana pool and turn it into a regular one as well. So I need to do a little bit of research as to what we need to do next, and we have enough now. If I can get it in there. There we go. So we have a regular mana pool here again. For now, I'm just going to set it down over there. But let's just take a look at Botania here, see what kind of things are we going to be looking at. We have some armor. Interesting. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. I think there is an improvement to our magnetic ring. Ring of Thor, Ring of Odin, Ring of Loki, Ring of what? Aesir? I don't know. Ring of Far Reach. I believe this one allows us to reach a long way. Placing down like torches and things like that. Greater Band of Aura, Band of Mana. Ring of Magnetization. I thought there was an improvement on that. Maybe not. But there's a whole bunch of stuff here that we can make. So I suppose I'm going to have to do a little bit of research in the Lexica Botania and figure out what we want to do next. I know we're going to want to get some better generating flora. So I'll take a look at that, figure out what we need to do next, and I will be right back. So I have what we need to make a few of these endo flames. So that takes red mana petals, brown mana petals, brown petals, red petals, light gray petals, and then the seeds. And I found out a neat little trick with this water drum. If we right click the water drum directly on the petal apothecary, it will fill it. So all that we need to do here is one at a time drop these in here, and there we go. And then we can fill that right back up. So meltdown. So I need to do this a few times, and we will be able to update our mana production over here. So yeah, this is going to take just a little bit. Whoops. Apparently you can't cue the drum on there, even though you could cue a water bucket. Yeah. That's not going to work. So I think we have to use a bucket of water to pick that back up. Or a bucket to pick that back up. I am not sure. Yeah, did that give me everything back? Doesn't much look like it. Sounds like everything is still under there in the water. Ah, there's everything. Okay, so it was just stuck underneath the petal apothecary. Now, also, I have this glimmering living wood here. Now, the recipe on this thing is... no, the recipe, not the uses. The recipe is living wood plus glowstone. It does emit light. And I have to put torches in the center of these, so I thought this was a good little addition to keep mob spawns down. Now these are living rock bricks, which are just a living rock in a 2x2 grid. And then of course I have the regular living rock here. So yeah, just in general I've been trying to keep everything here as Botania. So let's go ahead and get our water drum back on here. Got just a couple more of these to make. And this is the last one. There we go. So now what we want to do is use a little bit of this coal that we have been getting. So I'm going to grab a couple of stacks of that, and we'll try to figure out a way to automate this later. But right now we are just going to go ahead and place all of these endo flames around the mana pool. And we have a cow and a baby horse. Well, sorry. Oh, that's just cruel. Okay, well, we'll take a pickaxe. I don't care. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we are going to remove these day blooms around here. And we are going to place the endo flames directly around this. And yep, that's going to make a spawnable space there. So, torches. Hello, torches. And now if we take and throw out some of this coal, we should see the endo flames suck that up. Why are they not sucking it up? They don't like it? Well, here, let me remove my ring of magnetism. Yeah, we'll drop out a whole stack. See if they do that. There it goes. So they have now picked up some of it, and you can see we're 8 down on the pile, so it does take a little while for them to suck it up, so magnetic rings will be a problem there. So I'm going to go ahead and place these additional day blooms around the outside of that, so we should be getting quite a bit of mana now. Now, one question that I have, are these guys linked? I don't see them getting backed up here, so I would imagine they are. So we're getting quite a bit of mana production here. Of course, it's going to take a long time for this mana pool to fill. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting, see if we can figure out a way to automate these endoflames producing the mana. And when I get something figured out, I'll be right back. So I've been doing a little bit of experimenting on how I'm going to be able to feed those endoflames, and I came up with some interesting results. First thing is we have translocators. So this is a mod that is very useful for moving items from one place to another. And if we put a stack of coal in here, we have this item translocator on here and another one over here. Now what it's going to do is it is going to move items from one of the translocators that has its center button up to one that has its center button down. And you can see very rapidly it gave me the entire stack of charcoal or coal. So yeah, that is the first thing. So the next thing about translocators is these things are able to be upgraded. So you can see this one has a blue area around its center. Well, that is by applying a diamond nugget to this translocator. Now what that does is it gives us the regulate interface that you see here, and we can tell it only put this much of an item into the inventory that it's attached to. Now also we have red dots around here, that is redstone, and this translocator will respond to a redstone signal. Now the way that it works, it is inverted, and actually we can probably do this. Let's go ahead and set this up just a little bit differently. We will apply that redstone nugget there. We'll put this here, and now the next thing that we have here is glowstone dust. That makes these little yellow spots. Now the glowstone will make it try to move as much as it can in one individual time frame. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to remove my timer, and this is an item from Red Logic. So the timer is made with just a couple of redstone, an iron ingot, and a redstone torch. Pretty simple. We're going to come over here, we're going to drop a piece of cobblestone right here. We're going to place our timer right here, and that actually makes it go backwards. So what we need is to go like this. So now if we drop in our coal, we can see that it is moving it out 8 every time that this goes around. Now this timer can be very easily set, so we can go say +10, -1, so now it will be every 10 seconds it will try to put an item over. Now I did a little bit of timing and research on the endoflames themselves. It takes them 40 seconds to consume coal. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to set something up like this. We will put a full chest of coal above them so that we have fuel. We'll set up this very simple little circuit, and we can even put the translocators on top so that it's even smaller. But yeah, I'm going to set this up over there. And one last thing, I'm sure that you noticed it when I first started, the timer was not moving. If we apply a redstone signal to the back of the timer, it stops. So that is really handy, so we can put a lever behind the timer to turn it off if we're done producing mana, we can set up a comparator from the mana pool, I believe, to find out if we need to generate mana. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this stuff over and get it set up. And yeah, then we'll see if my idea here actually works. So this setup is working so well that I had to get a second mana spreader and remove the day blooms. So this is just absolutely phenomenal. It drops the charcoal or the coal, and almost immediately it gets sucked up into the endo flames, and we've got tons and tons of mana being produced. Now right now the pool is empty, and that is because I made this mana tablet. And this is just a very rapid way to move mana from one point to another. So if we set this mana pool here to accept mana from items, we can toss this thing on here. We'll see it throwing little gray particle streams down into the mana pool, and we see the level of mana in that thing just shooting up incredibly fast. And now it looks like our mana tablet is empty, and yeah, we can move a lot of mana that way. But this is going to take a little bit of refining to get this to work properly. Of course, we could put additional endo flames right next to it so that we could produce even more mana, but right now I think we're producing way more than we need. So yeah, we'll just have to see how things work. I don't know for sure what all we're going to need to do for Botania, but I do know that we will be doing a few things here and there. But I do think that we're getting pretty close to time on the episode, so I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up, let me know. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and make sure that if you've got any ideas, you're leaving those down in the comments for me. And I will see you next time. Bye!